Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we're gonna study the second concept of this lesson number 18, which is Irabul Failil Mudare, Irab of the present tense verb. Drasna annal failal madiya mabniyun wal mudareya murabun. We have studied that the past tense is mabni and the present tense is murab, which means present tense declines and the past tense does not. Now yes, ومعنى هذا أن المضارع يكون مرفوعا أو منصوبا أو مجزوما. So this means when we say that is murab, this means that mudare present tense becomes marfu or mansub or majzum. Now the question is ومتى يكون المضارع مرفوعا, when the present tense becomes marfu, ومتى يكون منصوبا, and when it becomes mansub, ومتى يكون مجزوما, when it becomes majzum. يكون مرفوعا عندما لا يسبقه ناسب, which means harfun nasbin. So it is marfu when it is not preceded by harfun nasbin, when there is no harfun nasbin before it. Wala jaziman, neither harfun nasbin nor harfu jazmin. So when there is no harfu nasbin, harfu jazmin before the present tense, then it takes the marfu, then it becomes marfu. وَيَكُونُ مَنْصُوبًا عندما يسبقه ناسب, and when there is some particle of nasab, harfu nasbin, then it becomes mansub. وَيَكُونُ مَجْزُومًا عندما يسبقه جازم, and then there is some particle of jazm, harfu jazmin, then it becomes majzum. وما هي حروف النصب وما هي حروف الجزم. So what are the particles of nasb and what are the particles of jazm? هذا ما سندرسه الآن, these we're gonna study now. وسنبدأ بحروف النصب, and we begin by particles of nasb. So first we're gonna study particles of naf and nasb. حروف النصب الفعل المضارع, particles of nasb of the present tense. So we begin with some examples. Talaba an yuhafiz al muslimuna ala kana'isiha. He asked to, so here the verb is hafaza yuhafizu, to protect, and an is making yuhafizu, changing yuhafizu to yuhafiza, making it mansub, so with the fatha sign. So he asked Muslims to protect their churches. Wa an yu'amilu, so here the verb is amala yu'amilu, to deal, and whom yu'amiluna, because of an, noun is removed to make it mansub. So yu'amiluna is the marfu form, yu'amilu is the mansub form. So, and to deal with them, ahlaha, to deal with their families with justice. So an here in this sentence, an is the particle of nasb which is making the fail mudare mansub. These two verbs. Lan tarifa dimashqa hatta taqra tarikhaha. You will not know Damascus, Dimashq, hatta, until you study its history. So now this is another particle lan that makes the fail mudare mansub. So the verb is arafa yarifu, and for anta is tarifu, and this particle lan making it tarifa. Similarly, hatta is another particle of nasb which is making this fail mudare as mansub. So that verb is kara yakrau, present tense is yakrau, and for anta takrau, and here it is takra'a, which is the mansub form. Is on the pattern of fa'ala yaf'alu. Okay, next one is izhab ilayha, go to it, go to this city, kai, so that tushahida, you watch masajidaha wa madarisaha, its mosque and its schools. So here the verb is shahada yushahidu. Yushahidu, huwa yushahidu, for anta is tushahidu. Here it is tushahida because of kai, which is harfun nasbin. And this is on the pattern of fa'ala yufailu, which is form 3. Wasala bi juyushihi ila Bukhara wa Samarkand. He reached with his armies to Bukhara and Samarkand. Li yazida arazid dawlati, so that to increase the land of his state. Again, these from the main lesson, but just for the concept, we are trying to understand these sentences without the clear picture of what was discussed in the main lesson. So it just for to clear the concept. So here zada yazidu, this is the verb, and here it is used as yazida because of the particle here, which is making it mansub. Waghadar al-Madinata wahdahu, and he departed Medina alone. Hatta yatasallama mafatiha Bayt al-Maqdisi, so that he receives the keys of the Bayt al-Maqdis. So here this verb is Yugadara yugadiru, to leave or depart, and this is in the pattern of fa'ala yufailu form 3. Hatta is the particle which is making this verb mansub. So the verb is sallama, yatasallamu, to receive. This is the pattern of tafa'ala yatafa'alu form 5. So yatasallamu changes to yatasallama because of hatta. This is the repetition of this same sentence. Next one is Zurha, visit it. Fatarifa, so you would know anna ha, that it Jannatullahi alal ardi, it is the paradise of Allah on the earth. So fa is the particle which make this present tense mansub, tarifa, just like we studied here. Okay, so now we're gonna see the explanation of these examples. Maza nara fil amsilati, what we see in these examples. Nara, we see af'alan mudari'atan mansubatan, we see that the verbs, the present tense verbs, are in the mansub form, that they all are mansub. Limaza, why? Sabakat ha harufun nasbi, because they have harufun nas before them. Like what are those which I have circled here? What are those? An, lan, kai, lamu talil, hatta or fa sabibiya. So these are an, lan, hatta, kai, hatta same, and then fa sabibiya. Fama mana hazihil hurufi, what is the meaning of these particles? So now there's going to be explanation of each of them. An, the first one, an is harfu masdariyun, is called harfu masdariyun. So when an comes with the present tense, it makes it a masdar, it makes it like a verbal noun. Here it is an example. An plus fe'lun mudari mansubun, it becomes masdarun muawwalun, is called masdar muawwal. And sanadrusu hadha fi durusil qadimati, will study in the next lessons. So I have just, for example, I have taken this verse from the Quran, wa antasumu khairul lakum. So here it is, the verb is sama yasumu, and for antum is tusumuna, and it making it mansub, so the noun is removed and the sumu is left. So antasumu is like saying sayyamun, means like Siyamukum khairun lakum. So this is what this un does. It makes this combination. It makes this combination makes that verb. This combination is called masdar muawwal. So antasumu is like siyamun, and like siyamukum, your fasting is better for you, and we're gonna study that later. So basically, I'm making this fail mudare mansub, and then this particle lan, what it does, yanfil fela fil mustaqbali. This negates the verb in the future. Like we studied here, you will not know Damascus until you study its history. So you will not, we are negating in future. Kai means manahu as-sababu. This means the reason. فالفعل بعد كي هو السبب الذي من أجله كان الذهاب. So the verb after kai that shows that the reason for leaving. So in these examples, izhab ilayha kai, go to this city Damascus, so that you watch its mosques and its schools, its madaris. So kai, it means that gives you the reason for going. So the reason for going. Fa anta tazhabu, that you go, min ajli an tushahida masajidaha wa madarisaha, that so that you watch its masajid and madaris. Wa yajuzu an nakula kai or likai. So we can say kai or lakai is the same meaning. And this lam, this lam li yazida, what it does, lahu nafsu mana harfun nasbi kai. It has the same meaning as kai. So when we said he reached with his armies to Bukhara and Samarkand, so what was the reason for that? To Yazida, to increase the land of its state. So that was the reason. So li is used in the same meaning as kai. Hatta, what about hatta? Lahu mana yani. Hatta has two meanings. Nafsu mana li wa kai wa gadara. So one meaning is the same as li or kai, and kai which means the reason, like gadara hatta yata sallama, he departed so that he receives. So that's the Caliph Umar, that when he went to receive the keys of the Baitul Maqdis, so he departed to receive. So departed, why? What is the reason? So hatta is giving a reason here to receive. There is another one, tawakkufu ma qablahu natijatan lima ba'dahu. So here this is the coming from the verb tawakkafa yatawakkafu, to stop, to depend, is on the pattern of tafa'ala yatafa'alu, and tawakkufun is the masdar from this verb. So that it depends what comes before it, natijatan lima ba'dahu. So the result of it, what comes before is the result of what comes after. So for example, in this example, lan tarifa dimishka hatta takra bi tarihiha. So it depends on what comes after. What coming before, it depends on what comes after. So you will not know Damascus until you study its history. So so hatta means this will not happen until this happens. This is what it means. So the result of it is, of what coming before is what coming after, is because of after. And then fa, there is the last one, fa here, fa sababiya. Manahu nafsu mana li, it also means of further reason, like in the meaning of li and kai. Walakinnahu yati bada, but this only comes, it comes yati bada amr, after amr or nafi or istifham or tamanna or rija. So it comes for commanding, command, amr, and nafi, negation, questioning, tamanna, wishful thinking, or rija, or hope. Here are some examples here. So fala nukulu, so we will not say jita ilal kahirati. So we will not say that you came to Cairo fatadrusa al-lughat al-arabiyya, to study the Arabic language. We will not say this, but we say, but nakulu, we will say ta'ala ilal kahirati, come to Cairo fatadrusa, so that you study the Arabic language. So if you want to study Arabic language, come to Cairo. So here this is the example for this one is amr. Here are the detail of it. Ta'ala, yata'ala is the verb. So yata'ala for anta, the amr is ta'ala. Anti ta'alai, antuma ta'alaya, antum ta'alau, antunna ta'alayna. So here anta is ta'ala, come. So when we using this as amr, then we can use fa. So this is coming after amr here in this example. Now we have the example of istifham. Hal tati ilal kahirati, do you come to Cairo to study fatadrusa al-lughat al-arabiyya? Do you come to Cairo to study Arabic language? Means have you come to Cairo to study Arabic language? So this is the hal is the istifham. So when we using hal here, then we can use fa here, and this fa is making the present tense mansub. And then the next example is for nafi, lam tati ilal kahirati fatadrusa lughat al-arabiyya. You didn't come to Cairo to study Arabic language. So I mean, your purpose to study Cairo, to come to Cairo was not to study Arabic language. So this lam, because of this lam, we can use fa, fatadrusa. And then tamanna is to wish. Laitaka, I wish you. Tati, you come. Ilal kahirati, I wish you come to Cairo. Fatadrusa lughat al-arabiyya, so that you study Arabic language. So this identifies the hope. Taman is the thinking, wish. Tamanna. Au rija, this is the last one is for hope. La'allaka, hopefully you. Tati ilal kahirati, hopefully you would come to Cairo. Fatadrusa lughat al-arabiyya, so that you study the Arabic language. So in other words, fa has the same meaning as of li and kai, but it comes after these amr, nafi, istifham, tamanna, or rija, hope. So that was about the harufun nasb. Now what are the signs? Alamatul nasbil fi'l al-mudari. So what are the signs when these particles come? Fil amsilatil sabiqati, in the previous examples, ma alamatul nasbil fi'l al-mudari, what was the sign of the when the fi'l mudari was mansub? Alamatul nasbil fi'l mudari asliyatu al-fata, the original form of the mansub form of the verb is fata. Dhamma changes to fata. And wahasfun nuni indama yakunu min al-af'al al-khamsa, and removing the noun when they are one of those 5 verbs that are with the pronoun anti, antuma, antum, huma, hum. So I have here like I have taken the verb yadrusu, and I am taking it for all the pronouns in marfu, mansub and majzum form. So for huwa, yadrusu is the marfu form, yadrusa mansub, and we're going to talk about the majzum form later. So for hiya, tadrusu marfu, and mansub is tadrusa. For anta, tadrusu, and mansub is tadrusa. For ana is adrusu, and mansub is adrusa. And for nahnu is nadrusu, and mansub is nadrusa. So it just replace dhamma with the fatah. And for the case of afalul khamsa, 5 verbs, 5 special verbs, we're gonna remove the noon. Like for anti, tadrusina is the marfu form and mansub form is tadrusi. Noon is removed. For antuma is tadrusani and mansub form is tadrusa. Antum is tadrusuna and mansub form is tadrusu. Similarly for huma is yadrusani is marfu form and mansub form is yadrusa. And for hum is yadrusuna is marfu form and mansub form is yadrusu. So those are the 5 special verbs that are called afalul khamsa, that are made mansub, even majzum, without by removing the noon. And hunna or antunna, they are mabni. They won't change. Hunna yadrusna, 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 antunna tadrusna, tadrusna, tadrusna. So they are mabni. These two forms, they don't change. Okay, so the next one is harufu jazmul fail al mudare. What are the particles that make fail mudare majzum? So here are some examples. Walam taslam dimashku min at-takhribi wa tadmiri. So this verb is salima yaslamu, to spare, to escape, to be safe, and it's the pattern of fa'ila yafalu. So because this is the feminine word, so the use here is taslamu, not yaslamu, because this is for hiya, taslamu, and then lam, making it majzum, taslam. So Syria was not escaped from takhrib and tadmir, from sabotage. Takhrib and tadmir is sabotage and destruction. Here actually I highlighted the haruf, and here I am circling the verb. So let's do the same thing here. And highlight the particles, because we're studying the particles. So this one is for lam, this is the li, and this is here is la. Okay, so the next one is li nakif huna. Let us stop here in the Hawazir Salasir Raisiyati, near the 3 metropolises, the 3 main cities. Fala tas'al munzu zalikal waqti anil fanuni, because there was the takhrib and tadmir, sabotage and destruction. So the writer is saying, don't even ask, fala tas'al, don't even ask, since that time, what happened to fanun, what happened to the fanun, means everything was destroyed. So we see that lam, li and la is making fail mudare majzum. We see the skoon here, and skoon here. Sala yasalu, tas'alu, tas'al, so making it we have a sukoon because of la. So here is an explanation. Nara fil amsilati, we see in these example afalan majzumatan, that the verbs are majzum. Wamana haza anna, that when the meaning is that lam, wali, wala are min hurufin jazmi, they are the particles of jazm. Famamanaha, what is the meaning? Lam. So now we're gonna see the explanation of all these three. Lam is yanfil fail al mudari'a wa yugajiru zamanahu ila al madi. Lam is the particle that negates the fail mudare, and wa yugajiru, and changes zamanahu, its time, ila al madi. So it negates the present tense and the meaning changes to the past tense. Like walam taslam, so means I would say did not spare. The Syria was not spare. So the meaning on it takes the time into past. Lam. And li is li or lamul amr, yamalu manal amr. Li is called lamul amr and it works for the amr, mean it's like the command. Walakinnana darasna annal harfa li, like I said, li nakif, let's stop. So this is the command. Walakinna darasna annal harfa li yakunu li talil, but we studied for the case of harufun nasbi that li here is for the reasoning. And now we are saying that li is lamul amr. So how we gonna identify these two different lams? Huma harfani, these are two letters. Lahuma shaklu nafsuhu, they have the same shakl, same shape. One nutku nafsuhu, and the pronunciation is also same. Walakinna huma, but both of them, bi manaini mukhtalifaini wa irabaini mukhtalifaini, but because they have two different meanings and they have two different irab, meaning one makes the present tense mansub and the other one makes it majzum. فَإِنْدَمَا يَكُونُ بِمَانَا sababi, so when we use it for the meaning of sabab, يَكُونُ لِنَسْبِ الْفِعْلِ مُضَارِعِ, it makes the fi'l mudari mansub. وَإِنْدَمَا يَكُونُ بِمَانَا الْأَمْرِ, when we use it as lamul amr, then يَكُونُ لِجَزْمِ الْفِعْلِ الْمُضَارِعِ, it makes the fi'l mudari majzum. And وَمَانَا la, and what about la, the third one? Ismuha la nahiya, its name is la nahiya. Wahiya tamalu manan nahi, and it works like in the meaning of nahi, means wahuwal amru bin nafi, that it is the amr in the negation. Means when you're gonna say don't, so then you're gonna use this la. Like here, like we see la tasal, don't ask, don't even ask what happened there. So la is that harfu is like amru bin nafi, command with the in negative with the negation. درسنا أن حرف لا نستخدمه لنفي الفعل المضارع. We have studied that we also use la to negate the present tense. وهو لا يغير إعراب الفعل بعده. So when this is la nahiya, when it is la nafiya, that just negates the present tense, then it does not change the i'rab, then it stays in the marfu form. Hazda istikdamun akhiru li harfi la, and this is another use of harf la. Wa hazal harfu lahu istikdamatun kasiratun, and this harf has many uses. Darasna minha, we have already studied la nafiya. This is la nahiya, which makes fi'l mudari majzum, and then is another la nafiya lil jins. So I have some examples here. La nafiya, when I'm gonna say ana la akzibu, I don't lie, so I'm just making a negation here. Akzibu, it is not making this la is not making it majzum. When I'm gonna use it as a la nahiya, la takzib, don't you lie, you don't lie, so this is then called La Nahiya, Lamul Amr. Then we using it making it the fi'l mudari majzum. And then La Nafiya lil Jins, this is just like saying this makes the noun after it mansub, like La ilaha. When we say La ilaha, means this la is very powerful la that negates the whole category of the anybody that we can call a god. So La ilaha means there is absolutely no God. So up to this, like it is the same what the atheists say, that there is no God. So up to that, this is what it means. But then we say illallah, except Allah. Alamatu jazmil failil mudare, the signs of the fail mudare when it is majzum. Alamatu jazmil failil mudare, what are the alamat, what is the sign of the fail mudare when it is majzum? Alamatu jazmil fail mudare asliyatu askun. The original form of the fail mudare when it is majzum is skun. Hasfu nuni indama yakunu min al afal al khamsa, and the noon is omitted when it is for the case of afal al khamsa, the 5 verbs. For the pronouns madda mair, anti, antuma, antum, huma, hum. So I have the table here, same table, marfu, mansub and majzum. So now we see for the case of majzum, huwa yadrusu, in the marfu form, mansub is yadrusa and majzum is yadrus. So we see the sukun at the end. Similarly, hiya tadrusu, marfu form, and majzum form is tadrus. Anta tadrusu, majzum tadrus. Ana adrusu, marfu form, and majzum form is adrus. Nahnu nadrusu, and majzum form is nadrus. Now for the case of the mair, anti, antuma, antum, huma, hum. So we see here the majzum form are same like the mansub forms with no noon. Noun is omitted for anti, antuma, antum. Anti tadrusi, antuma tadrusa, antum tadrusu, huma yadrusa, hum yadrusu, and hunna and tunna, they are mabni. Wahasfu harful illati indama yakunu failan naqisan, and for the case of fail naqis, the harful illa that is omitted. So if we see here, so this is tati, this is the this is the naqis verb. So when we put lam, this is omitted. This harful illa ya, this is omitted. So tati after lam is tati changes to tati, like this. So this is what it says, that harful illa is omitted when for the case of fail naqis. So maza nafhamu min haza, what we understand from all this that we have studied so far. Yurfaul failul mudari'u iza lam yasbikhu nasibun wala jazimun. Fail mudari is marfu when is not preceded, when there is no harfu nasbin or harfu nasbin before it. So the normal form is fail mudari is marfu. Wa yunsabu iza sabakahu harfun min hurufin nasbi, and it changes to mansub when there is a harf of nasab before it, like an wa lan wa kai wa lamu talil wa hatta wa fa'u sababiyya. Wa yujzamu iza sabakahu harfun min harufil jazmi, and it becomes majzum when it has some harfu jazmin, like lamul amri or la nahiya. And alamatu rafi dammatu wa subuti nuni is kana min al afal al khamsa. So for the case of marfu, in the case of marfu form, the alamatu rafi is damma, and the presence of noon for the case of afal al khamsa, just like we have seen above, that is the rafa form. And for the case of in the case of mansub, alamatul nasbi is fatah, and hazful nuni is kana min al afal al khamsa, and for the case of 5 verbs, the noon is omitted. And for the case of alamatu jazmihi skunu, for the case when it is majzum, the sign of being the sign of it being majzum is the skun, and the omission of noon hazfun nooni is kana min al afal al khamsa for the case of 5 special verbs. Hazfu harfil illati is kana nakisan, and harful illa is omitted for the case of a nakis verb, just like we have seen above. So that was this topic. Now we have a couple of sentences that we have to put i'rab. Biskuti Dimashka Sakatat Mudnu Shami Kulluha. With the fall of Damascus, the cities of, so here Sham is the historical Biladus Sham, the Levant. So Biladus Sham consisted of these countries, these modern countries of today: Syria, Lebanon, Jordan and Palestine. So with the fall of the Damascus, the cities of the Levant or the Biladus Sham, they also fell, kulluha, all of them. So kullu is used for emphasis, and it follows its muqadd. That is why is marfu, because this is the cities, they are marfu. So let's understand this sentence. This is jumla failure. Biskuti Damashq is shibu jumla. So biskuti is jarun wa majrurun, and then this is mudaf and this mudaf alayh. Sakatat, this is the verb, fail, sakata, and ta is ta'u tanis. File is mudnu, because file is broken plural, so that is why this comes in the here form with the ta'u tanis. And ashami, so then mudnu becomes mudaf, ashami is mudaf alayh, and kullu is tawkid, and ha is mudaf alayh. So B skuti, B is harfu ba is harfu jarrin mabni, skuti ismun majrurun ba'da ba, ulamatul jarril kasratu zahira. So it has a kasra here, so it's jarun wa majrurun. Dimashka, so then this becomes mudaf, this is the mashka is mudaf alayh majrurun ulamatul jarri fatah, because this is mamnu min as-sarf, so it won't take kasra and does not have al, so we can't put kasra here. Its sign for being majroor is alamatul jarri is al fatatu zahira, this fatah. Liannahu mamnoon min as-sarf. Sakatat, sakata is fe'lun madin mabni al fathi. Ta is ta'u tanis, ta for feminine. Mudnu is fa'ilun marfuun wal amatu rafiya dhamma, we see dhamma zahira. Ash, and then it becomes mudaf. Asham is mudaf alayh majrurun wal amatul jarri al kasra, kasratu zahira, we see that kasra zahira here. Kullu is tawkidin marfuun wal amatul rafi ad dhamma zahira, and this kullu, again like I said, this is the emphasis, so it follows its muakkad for the i'rab. So this gonna follow this. If it is marfu, so this is also marfu, and then this becomes mudaf, and ha is damirun muttasilun mabni ala sukun fi mahalli jarrin mudaf alayh. The next one is imtala majlisuhu bil hukmai wa shurai. His majlis or his gathering was full of wise people and poets. So this is jumla failure, this is the verb here, imtala, yamtaliyu, and file is majlisu, and then it becomes mudaf, who is mudaf alayh, bil hukmai jarun wa majrurun wa shurai, so harfu atfin, and this is matuf ala hukma. This is given here. So i'rab here is imtala. Imtala is fe'lun madin mabni al fathi. Majlisu, in majlisuhu, majlisu is fa'ilun marfuun wal amatu rafi ad dhamma wa huwa mudaf, and then who is damirun muttasilun mabni ala dhammi fi mahalli jarrin mudaf alayh. and in bil hukamai ba is harfu jarrin mabni and al hukamai is ismun majrurun ba'da ba walamatul jarri al kasratu zahira. Waw is harfu atfin mabni and shura is matufun ala al hukamai majrurun walamatul jarri al kasratu zahira. So matuf also follows the word which is matuf of. So in hukamai and shorai, same Arab. Lam taslam Dimashku min at-takhribi wa tadmiri. And Damascus didn't escape from the sabotage and destruction. So it's starting from lam, and there's a verb here, so jumla failiya. Fail is taslam and is majzum. It has a sukoon because of lam. This is the particle that makes this fail mudare majzum. So ba'da harfun nafi lam wa huwa yajzimul failul mudare, and fa'ilu is dimashku. Min at-takhribi wa tadmiri is shibu jumla, so jarun wa majrurun, and this is matuf ala tadmiri matuf ala takhribi. So Arab here is gonna be like this. Lam is harfu jazimun lil failil mudare mabni, and taslam is failul mudare majzumun ba'da lam walamatul jazmi as-sukun. Dimashku is fa'ilul marfun walamatul rafi dammatul zahira. Min is harfu jarrin mabni. At-takhribi ism majrur ba'da min walamatul jarri al-kasratu zahira. Waw is harfu atfin mabni and at-tadmiri matufun ala takhribi. At-takhribi majrurun walamatul jarri al-kasratu zahira. So that was simple. So that was the end of this the second topic of this lesson, and now next time we're gonna study the main lesson, and then we're gonna do the exercises. So I'm going to stop it here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.